Being in the present moment is a time portal. And what do I mean by this? When we are fully in the present, we lose track of time. Time does not exist. Yes, time is kept track of on the clock, right? But our perception of how fast or slow that time goes can be changed. Our perception creates time. And we hear all these things about, stay in the present moment, stay in the now, right? And like everything else, it's become such a cliche term that it's lost its meaning. It's lost how exactly important it is. Because I think it's the most powerful thing that we can do, or that we can practice, and practice making it a habit of, in our whole entire existence. When we are fully relaxed, when we're fully present, and when we enter the flow state, and we're just existing, think about how differently you show up. Think about how differently you speak when you're relaxed. Think about how you act, how you move. When you are relaxed, that is the most authentic version of yourself. When we are caught up, seriously, time traveling, either thinking about the past or the future, and then pulling the past or the future into the now and making it distort the present moment, that is not us. That is a mentally hijacked version of us. If we were in the flow state and we lose track, we lose all concept of time, do you feel anxious? Do you feel stressed? No, you forget about everything. Everything just melts away and you are just focused on everything. You're hyper aware on what is going on right now. If we can learn how to tap into the flow state as much as possible and be fully relaxed, no matter how chaotic our lives are outside, which it is easier said than done, but it's possible, how differently would our lives be? If you looked at your mind and you said, all right, mind, you know what? I'm done. I'm rising above all this chit chat, all these things that you make up, all the shit that you make up, all these lies that you tell me that hold me back, all these scenarios that you create that maybe could happen in the future but probably won't, all this worry that you cause, that you artificially create. And yeah, I get it, right? You're trying to keep me safe, okay? But right now it's not necessary. Right now it's holding me back. I used to let worrying about the future literally eat me alive. And sometimes it still happens now. I'll be worrying about something that's going to happen tomorrow or next week, and I let it affect how I am in the present. But really that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to keep repeating the past over and over again, but a lot of us are doing it subconsciously. And that's why we're stuck in the past. We can't break out and create a new reality because we're constantly replaying the past on a loop over and over again. And if we're constantly worried about the future, then how are we ever going to take a risk? How are we ever going to be the fullest version of ourselves? But if I start worrying about the future, time traveling to the future, my body is going to react physically like it's happening right now. My body doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. What's real, the only thing that's real is what's going on right now around me. The present moment is really the only thing that's real. But when I replay past scenarios and my body keeps bringing the same emotions up, like it's happening again right now, and we're just unnecessarily wreaking so much havoc on ourselves unless we decide to take control of our mind. Yo, the cats. Every time I try to make a video, every time, they just go crazy. So how do we tap into the flow state on command? How do we just recenter ourselves in the present moment whenever we want to? Well, it's gonna be a constant process of analyzing ourselves, analyzing our mind from a higher perspective. Notice when you are reliving the past or you're worried about the future. Just notice it. And now, once you've noticed it, you need to stop reacting to it. Just say, oh, okay, I notice it. Don't try to push it down, but you need an anchor to bring yourself back to the present moment. For me, it started out as my breath. So I would just return my attention to my breath and I would let everything else melt away and I would just be focused on my breath, and just remind myself that everything I'm creating in my head is not real. I can let it go And then I start on purpose noticing what's happening around me, getting in touch with my senses. What do I smell? What do I see? What do I taste? What do I hear? And it's just a constant practice of just doing that. Observing it, not reacting to it, change how you react to it. And it will be tough at first, probably, but over time, keep doing it. And you're gonna be like, bro, time is speeding up. I don't really entertain the worry about the future anymore. I still have it, but I don't entertain it. And I don't allow myself to go down these just negative spirals. I remember when I was really working on facing my anxiety for the first time, and I was getting into meditation, and I was learning about the flow state, because it all started when I was an athlete and I struggled so bad with performance anxiety. And I was like, okay, I hate the sport now. I don't want to play because I'm just so scared to mess up. I'm so scared of people watching me. I'm so scared of letting my teammates down. And I remember I started learning about the flow state, and one of the books that I came across was, I think it was by Michael Jordan's mental trainer. I think he trained other athletes too. I forget his name and I forget the title of the book, but it was all about how athletes, or how Michael specifically, would just be out there flowing. And he said time would slow down, the game for him would slow down, and he was almost like one with the game. But he was like on another level of consciousness, a higher level of consciousness compared to the game. He was like above the game, seeing the game from like a higher dimension. So not only are you your most authentic and free self when you're in the present, but I think it's a gateway to tap into higher versions of whatever the hell this life is, all right? I don't really know. But I do believe that unlocking the power to just be flowing, to be present as much as possible, I think it's the key to life. I think it's the key to pretty much everything that we suffer from, all these mental ailments that we're dealing with. Once we decide to stop being a slave of our mind and start to actually control this freaking supercomputer that we have in our head, how is our reality going to change? But learning that I could actually shift my focus to the present moment, I was like, okay, all right, I got an answer to anxiety. I got a solution to it. It's simple, okay? It's not really easy to do. Over time, it becomes easier. Don't give up. But okay, now I have a solution, and the solution to my anxiety is not anything outside of me. It's controlling my state, my mental state inside of me. And then my internal then goes back and creates my external. That's how it works. Let me know if you got any thoughts in the comments. Definitely, if you like my videos, hit subscribe, give the video a like. Definitely helps out. Peace.